live on No Shites Given. I'm James, your host, and I got our surprise here today, which is our new co-host, Sarah. Welcome
Yay!
on board.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Darren wasn't able to make it today, but Sarah's going to be our permanent co-host, part of the show. So we're excited to have her.
I'm super excited to be here too. Been prepping all
Okay, I think I'm back. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we got some pretty cool topics to talk about today. One, introducing Sarah, of course. So we're going to start with that. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell our viewers so that what got you to know Shites and so forth.
All right. Well, I'm from Missouri, grand old town of like 300 people, and this just happened by chance. I don't know. I was just walking around one day, and all of a sudden, I'm on YouTube.
Well, it's awesome to have you with us. I've talked to you about the show when we started getting to know each other, and you definitely were interested. And then I tossed around the idea of getting another co-host, and you stepped up for it. So it's awesome, and we're happy to have you.
Of course, I'm super stoked.
Cool. Well, so like I said, we have some pretty good topics to talk about today. And I'm going to let Sarah go ahead and introduce the first one on our lineup. So go ahead. It's all yours.
Which one did you want to talk about first? You want to talk about Zika? Because that one.
Yeah, definitely the Zika virus. Especially since it involves so much other stuff that's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, we just got a budget passed for Zika. They're gonna, let's see, I got an article here about it. So, according to statnews.com, they have officially approved $1.1 billion worth of emergency funds towards the Zika virus, which it's a good amount. Like it sounds like a lot. It's not as much as they were wanting. They were hoping for 1.9 billion, which really, when you look at it, it's spread throughout a couple different things. Let me see. Some of it's research, and some of it's they're actually trying to control the mosquito population. So what happens with Zika most of the time is people go to these tropical areas and tropical urban areas, I think is what it said. And a mosquito bite is usually what will carry it. So they'll go on vacation, have a fun time, get a mosquito bite, come back, all of a sudden you got Zika and your baby has birth defects. And they're pretty serious birth defects at that, because they affect the brain. The brain doesn't grow and the head stays small. So you have these defects forever. So it was amazing that we even got this budget approved. Usually it takes forever. So 1/3 goes to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Another 200 million goes to National Institutes of Health vaccine research, and then 248 million would go to battle the virus. So basically our best bet is going to be trying to wipe out the mosquito population, which sounds crazy. It could have different repercussions environmentally, but that's a whole other subject. But since that's the main way that it's transmitted, it's through blood. But it's, you're not gonna go to school coughing on somebody and giving it to them that way. But it's actually, the symptoms are very mild whenever you look at the effects on adults. it's pretty much just rashes, joint pain. It lasts like a week and a half, so it's not really very concerning if you're not planning on getting pregnant or planning on getting anybody pregnant or planning on being bad at planning and getting somebody pregnant. But once they have it, you know, so you can't really stop it once you've already got it. So the best method is just prevention, just prevent it from happening altogether, which can be difficult.
Right. So that was going to be my question. So once you're a carrier forever, right? So no matter what, once you have that virus and you get pregnant, it you permanently have like that risk of getting
No,
pregnant with a child
they
with
say,
problem.
no, it's really only about a week and a half, as far as I understand. I mean, anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I understand, it's only while you have the symptoms. But if you are pregnant and then you get it, you can't then realize that you have it and then prevent your baby from getting it, because your blood is your baby's blood. So you can't really, that's not preventable. So that's the main thing with that. But really, they just say if you go to somewhere tropical or somewhere that they have known cases of Zika, just make sure to wait like a month before you try getting pregnant if you're in that phase of life, I suppose.
Interesting. I guess for me, the interesting part with that bill that passed, is it going to? So there's a lot of things going on right now in the world with um, that kind of involves Zika in a way, like what's going down in Brazil with the Olympics coming up, and they have a huge epidemic right now with Zika. So they're advising women that are planning to get pregnant or are pregnant to not go travel to Brazil during the Olympics, which
Yeah,
you
that's
know, yeah, that kind of sucks. And then we have Puerto Rico right now, which is in a huge deficit, which is one of our U.S. territories. We're having problems trying to support them, and it's a huge epidemic there as well. So with this bill passing, are they included in the amount that they passed to help them as well, or they're excluded from that?
Oh no, they're absolutely included. Like as it said, I think it was what? How much specifically? 248 million goes to battle the virus overseas. So that's anywhere non-domestic. So yeah, they're putting some effort towards that because that affects us as much as it affects them because we travel all over the place.
Right. Definitely interesting. To me, it just seems that it took a lot of time to get to this conclusion, to come up with this bill. I mean, are we already in the United States? Do
Yeah,
we cases?
we're breaking up a little bit.
What's that? Breaking up.
Yeah.
Hold on. You hear me now?
Yes.
Better? Okay, cool. So are we, like I was saying, are we, have we been affected quite a bit from the Zika, like in the United States? Are there a lot of cases or?
Well, I think it's, yeah, I haven't looked at the actual numbers of people in America, but it's significant enough for them to put however many, what, $1.1 billion worth towards it. So,
Right.
in emergency funds at that. And they actually got it done, which is just an amazing accomplishment considering
Oh yeah, they were like pretty
trauma they
divided about it too.
Yeah.
Republicans.
Oh, yeah. The Republicans were a little bit hesitant to give as much money, which I find a little bit funny given they're the crusaders for unborn people and a birth defect this serious. They were kind of like, well, I mean, but there are other important things that they actually took from the Ebola fund That was part of their plan, is they didn't really want to give new funds to Zika, so they took some of it from Ebola.
Wow.
Yeah,
Which people think that we're done with that epidemic, but it actually. Am I still breaking up?
a little bit.
Okay, let me just switch mics. Maybe that'll help. I think I have an issue with my current mic, so let me switch mics here. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get rid of this mic and we'll just use the other one. So, what was I saying? Def, I mean, people don't realize that we're not done with the Ebola epidemic. It's still a huge epidemic,
Oh, yeah.
and I think it was recently I was watching on the news that um, there was some cases in like southern or not southern Europe, but Central Europe, and some in even in England, I think, or not England, Norway, because of all the immigrants that are coming from Syria, they have to go through Africa, and they pick it up there, they take it to Europe.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worry with all of these viruses, diseases, whatever. They're spreading across seas.
Right,
So it's really important to take care of it not only on our own home front, but over there as well.
right. Well, it's definitely. I mean, like you said, for adults, I guess Zika is not that scary, but I mean, I can imagine how scary that will be for somebody that is going to have a child that has the Zika virus. I can't even imagine.
Of course, yeah, they're really serious defects that, I mean, heavily affects brain function. We don't even know everything, but it's not something you can bounce back from.
I definitely would like to like kind of look more into it as far as because I mean this virus seems so new to us, but I think it's been around for quite a while, like in Central America, Southern America, and some places.
I'm sure it has.
Yeah, so it just kind of seems a little strange at how like fast it like spread and why all of a sudden it's an epidemic. A lot of other diseases see it like kind of slowly spread, and you can kind of see that it's starting to become an issue. But Zika happened like that, like it just bam, hey, this is
Those
going on.
mosquitoes, man, they'll get you. They'll get you. Mosquitoes and other like little bitey things, they are always the ones that spread the disease.
And not to mention the West Nile's virus, which also comes from mosquitoes, and that's
Mhm.
been around. And we don't even have that really eradicated. Like, we
Well,
still hear those issues went like last year in was it in Disneyland or Universal Studios? Somebody got the West Nile virus from there.
that's
That's
why
just
they're talking about just eradicating the whole species of mosquito. Like, just get rid of them all.
yeah.
I would be sad for
One
the
of the
frogs.
episode, I actually saw a Vice story on that where they were um, genetically modifying mosquitoes to mate with those mosquitoes, and then those mosquitoes, the babies were already dead. So kind of like fighting, virus with virus almost.
Weird.
Yeah. So interesting. Well, definitely something we'll keep looking into because I find it quite interesting. I just find it odd that we took so long to handle it. I mean, it's because it's kind of been an issue for a little bit over a year now. So, and we're
Well,
just now, oh, now we got the funding for it. Like we had to fight about it for a while, but no
that's
big
our
deal.
government. That's what we get. We chose this.
So the next topic that I wanted to talk about was teen dating. I did not know about this, and I think it was from a conversation that you and I had where about this, about kind of the crazy things that teens do and things that we did as teenagers. And but this is for me completely scary because I have a daughter. She's very little right now, but eventually she's going to become a teenager, and
Yeah.
I I joke around about it, but I always say that I'm going to put my daughter into a tower up high and put a whole bunch of bulls
Yeah.
and Rottweilers at the entrance, and nobody's going through, and she is not coming out. And I'll just feed her through like a basket to, get up there to the window.
Better be
Uh,
some lobster, man. Better give her something good. Shit.
right? But it is scary though. So, and even with boys, like even my boy, I kind of worry about. Um, but so apparently there's these teen dating sites, right? And I feel I feel almost dirty doing this, what I've done, but I did it for research, and I actually signed up to a couple of these dating sites. So they're for teenagers, under age 18 and below. Actually, some of them go up to 19. And it was so easy for me, somebody that's 29 years old, easy for me to sign up. No verification if I'm, that old. Nothing. And all the kids in there, most of them girls, are like, 15 and below. I mean, and I made a kind of I did some screenshots of some of the sites that I was on. I'll bring that up here. Uh, so, if we can see it, there we go. So, and I put everybody's face out because I did not want to, like, uh,
Yeah.
let's go back actually to the last one. Uh, so if you hear like all the females and you look at all the age, is my mic still up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Live.
The awesome part of live, right? All the issues happen.
Yeah.
So you can see the ages here, and like a lot of them are like, below 17. Like the average here on this screen is 18 years old. And I don't know why mine is so bad. Let me try this real quick. Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it seems fine right now.
Okay, we'll see. So going back to this, so you see on now you can't see anything, but going on here, you see like the ages, like it averages about 15. This girl is crazy. Okay, this girl here on this profile, and I blurred everything out. Um, she is only 15, and I don't know if you can see it there. I don't know if I can like try to. No, I can't. Um, she okay. The question on her profile. This is not working out for me, but the question on the profile was, "Am I fuckable?" This is a girl that's 15
Oh
years old,
no.
right? And there were guys that were answering it, and you can totally tell from their profiles that they're 30 years old.
That's so disgusting.
You
The
know?
terrible thing about it is that most of these girls are probably lying about their age on their profile anyways. I know that when I was younger, I used to do that all the time. My YouTube account probably still says I'm like 30 by now because I mean, younger girls, they want to be older. They want to do all these older girl things. Like, it's so scary to imagine. Like you could have an 11 or 12-year-old girl on there, like so scary and so dangerous that they would allow this to be a
There's
thing.
and there's so many of these girls that will end up meeting some of these older guys, and they end up getting raped, kidnapped, and taken for slavery or
Yeah,
prostitution, and
exactly. Sold into
all
human.
in the news all the time, and nobody does anything about this. And I get it. We can't, it's hard to make a law, I guess, to do anything about it because then we start infringing into freedom of speech and freedom of. But there has to be something to protect at least younger kids.
Hey, I mean, child pornography sites, bestiality sites, those are illegal. This is close enough, because a
That's what
person under the age of, well, depending on your state, and sometimes it's 16, sometimes it's 17, sometimes whatever, but under the age of consent, you can't consent. You cannot. No matter how many times you say yes, I wanted it, you can't legally consent. So, granted, it may not be said outright that this is a site for sex or something like that. This is still, it's dating in today's world means sex. That's what that means. It's
exactly.
it's so scary. I can't even.
Like you said, though, even like in the normal like adult dating sites like OkCupid, Match.com, what's the other one? Plenty of Fish. There's a lot of girls that'll lie on there. Like I have actually encountered those where, you know, there will be a girl in there that might look 18 or older, but then you find out they'll tell you right off the bat too, like once you start talking to them, they'll say, "Hey, by the way, um, I'm 17, I'm 16, and I've been lucky that, you know, I've been able to catch that ahead of time and then stop all communication." But it's scary because what if there is the one girl that lies and doesn't tell me the truth up until we meet, and then the next thing I know, I'm going in handcuffs, you know?
I mean, it's scary for everyone. It's
Exactly.
scary for me, and I wouldn't even be involved. It's oh no, it's so wrong.
It
So
is.
very wrong.
But now, so I mean that's that, and we all remember what happened to. I mean, we all remember who this is, right? Amanda. What was her last name? Amanda Dodds, I think.
I don't remember her last name, but
And I mean the same thing. She was on a teenage dating site. site, started chatting with this guy, flashed him, and now bam, he got her. He got her. Now he starts blackmailing her, forcing her to show more pictures. If not, I'm going to post it on Facebook. He actually does harasses this girl to the point where she commits suicide. You know,
yeah, I
and
definitely see that because even when I was a kid, I was doing dumb shit like that too. I was on a dating website whenever I was like 15, talking to like 18, 19-year-old guys. It could have been really dangerous. And even as an adult, I've had people try to. One guy said he was going to kill my family if I didn't send him pictures of me and stuff like that. All kinds of crazy shit. Imagine if I had been like a little girl at that point in time, like a 15, 14-year-old girl. I can't imagine that it's not something that children should have to deal with. And I get that they're maybe not like 9-year-old kids and they sort of understand what's going on, but they don't because at the age of 15, 16, 17, 14, 13, everyone is stupid. Everyone. There's not one smart person that's 15 years old. You're just inherently stupid if you're a teenager. You
it,
cannot make decisions for yourself.
so gullible. Like, my mom watches this show, so she's gonna probably kill me after I say this publicly. But you know what? No shites. Um, I used to, I never did that. Well, I did do kind of the dating thing sites, I guess, when I was a teenager. Now that I remember, but it wasn't. Internet was so new back then that really I didn't spend much time on it. But what I would do is, from the age of 12, well, 13 to 15, me and my friends used to go into clubs because I grew up in Spain and they don't really check IDs or anything. So we would go to these adult clubs and it, it I it could get scary because you know a lot of these clubs in Spain, there's a lot of guys that hunt for young boys actually. And I had a little bit of a scare with that where a guy tried to like, hey, why don't you come over here to the bathroom with me?
Mm,
I know it was scary. It was a really scary moment, but I was still stupid enough to keep going after that. Like that wasn't enough, like to get scared with that and never that should have been my thing where okay, I shouldn't be at places where there are adults drinking and doing things that I'm not privy to, I'm not allowed to do, and I shouldn't be around you know I remember another scary moment where me and my siblings, we were playing just in the neighborhood, you know, and guys are just dirty. Some guys are just dirty old men. And I remember this guy trying to pick up my 9-year-old sister. I was
oh my
like,
God.
I know, and like luckily I just pulled my sister, it's like, hey, no, we're going home, you know. But and now these guys, now that the internet is so open, so widely open, so widely used, they're it's even easier for them, and it happens a lot, and we're not doing anything for our kids.
That's why human trafficking is flourishing. The internet is the best tool.
I know, like it's stupid because and that's actually something that I wanted to talk about on our next episode was not only online dating, but now there's a lot. I didn't realize how big it was and what a big industry and how much money they make. But
Oh
mail order
God.
brides,
Yeah.
like, and people don't consider that as, uh, human trafficking, but it definitely is. And then on top of that, you think you're getting somebody of a certain age, and you end up finding out that either you're getting somebody that's not legal age, or you purposely try to get somebody that wasn't legal,
Yeah.
and it's totally acceptable. Um, I don't know. It is definitely scary, and I'm sorry, my daughter is probably going to end up in a tower.
Well, good luck with that. Sounds like an expensive venture, but do you, boo boo?
Nowadays, it almost seems like it's worth it, though. So,
Yeah, I feel you.
um, I did have some statistics here about that too, like the dangers of some of the kids. So um, so out of these websites, about out of these websites, out of 75% become victims and face-to-face meeting face-to-face with offenders.
Oh my God.
And this
Yeah.
is from these statistics are coming from Online Safety, uh, which is a organization that tries to monitor problems with the internet as far as like scams and other you know issues with people being victimized. And they do all these statistics, and then another statistic here. About 58% of teens will post racy pictures, putting them in unsafe situations.
Well, yeah, I definitely see that. I used to do that too whenever I was a kid. I thought it was cute to be all like
And
stupid.
luckily,
It's
still
so
here with
dumb.
you, but I mean. numbers go on, and like they're all so scary. Like, um, so about 25%, this year, 25% of teens say their parents know little or nothing about what they're doing online. That's the other thing, I know with my kids, maybe some people might say that I'm a little bit, maybe be a little bit overbearing or a little bit too, not overbearing, but
Correct.
I know my ex-wife says it, like you worry too much. Like I don't, my son lives down the street from from his elementary school, and my ex lets him walk with the other kids from school by himself with no adult supervision. Some of the kids are older, but I still like it scares me every day. Like, you know, and call me, paranoid, but I mean the numbers are there. The percentages are high.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
that's what happens when you don't supervise your children. I mean, that happens all the time. I mean, sometimes it's just there's nothing you can do. Sometimes shit just happens, but there's plenty you can do to prevent this, like,
plenty of,
online type. There's plenty.
well, they have these routers nowadays that you can set up where you can put time limits on them for how much internet time the kids get. There's apps for that. Uh, Blockers where they'll block certain sites so your kids can't get into them and it's all password protected. I mean, there's tools out there. Yeah, you can't protect them from everything, but you sure can try, you
I
know.
feel like if they had a way to just have it so that you can only see certain websites. I mean, I'm not a parent, so I haven't really like delved into this subject much, but if if they had a way to say, okay, you can look at YouTube, you can look at Wikipedia, stuff like Facebook, stuff like that, I feel like maybe that would be a little bit better because it's really hard to filter out every single website that could potentially be dangerous. Any website could be
I get
dangerous.
it. Absolutely. I don't know. I know it's going to be a tough road for me seeing my kids grow up.
I can imagine.
That I know now and everything that I know you've done, Sarah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. What's your daughter's name?
Abby.
I'm sorry, Abby. If you're seeing this sometime in the future, I'm sorry that I did this to you.
All Sarah's fault.
My my bad kidness is affecting your life.
No, I mean even with me though, like I know for my son, uh, I was I did a lot of things my mom doesn't know about. Sorry, mom. Sorry, I don't know everything I've done.
I
But
think
you,
it's just important to give like a little bit of freedom, it's hard because you want to be very protective, which of course you should be because there is a lot out there. But I mean, just to not let your kids do anything is like the worst possible thing you could do. Take it
true.
from me. I'm from Missouri.
There's no.
I couldn't do anything. Yeah. So the first chance I got, I was like, let's go drink. Hope my mom doesn't see this.
Oh, she'll probably watch it. I didn't think my mom was gonna watch this. She watches it.
Yeah.
So, let's go to another topic that I want to talk about. So, I consider this an epidemic, and to me, anyways, because I think partially it's funny, and partially I see people it really consumes their lives, and that's weight loss dieting. There's
hmm
so many. I was looking online, there was so much that I couldn't even gather all of it. But
Yeah.
there's so many different types of diets, and like some of them are so ridiculous, and some of them, some people just over exaggerate some of the nutritional facts. I feel. Um, have you had any experience with dieting?
Oh, do I
I
have experience with dieting? Oh,
That was a stupid question.
I'm a girl. Look at me. Come on. Hell yeah, I have experience with dieting. Plenty, lots of it. I'm dieting now. I don't
So
think I ever did any crazy diets or anything though.
what kind of diet are you on right now?
Right now, I'm on a healthy diet. I try to eat like 1,200 calories a day, whole wheats, plenty of protein, trying to limit sugar, but doing a terrible job. Um, Oatmeal, eggs, you know. It's 6 meals a day, so like I'm just eating all day. It's awesome. It's the best.
I know for you and I, it's like an inside joke now because you and I went to this one class together about, and we watched that documentary about sugar, and
Yeah.
I can't stay away from sugar. It's really hard for me, anyways. Um, but there's all these different diets where they say, okay, well, sugar is different than a regular calorie,
Mhm.
and to me, in a sense, yes, but it does. To me, I feel like you just have to do a little bit of extra work to lose that calorie, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Um, then there's all these other different diets like Atkins diets, which I was trying to read up into it. I don't really get it. I don't know if you can explain it a little bit.
I don't
Uh,
really get Atkins either. They're just mostly all about meat. They love their meat and potatoes, man. Or is it potatoes? Do they eat potatoes? I don't know. They eat fat. They just gobble it on up. Just give them a bucket of lard and they'll fucking eat it.
right? Which I don't get how that's any different than eating a sack of sugar. Like,
I
it
guess sugar has different effects, including,
has a different,
diabetes and things like that.
it does have a different chemical effect, but a lot of fat can also cause a lot of like heart diseases and stuff like that. So I
Yeah,
mean,
of course.
like,
I mean,
anyways.
anything in moderation can be okay. I mean, that's the same with anything. Sugar is bad, fat is bad too, but there are good fats, at that, like avocado fat, and it's delicious.
I know avocado is amazing. I love avocado. Um, what about like I don't know, for me like I wasn't really in a diet. I guess I was more in a lifestyle for a little while. And that was a pescatarian diet where I ate nothing but seafood, fish as my meat. Like
Yeah.
all meat was taken away, no chicken, no beef, no pork, no nothing, and it was just all fish. So I would eat instead of maybe a burger, I would have a fish fillet sandwich or
Hmm.
hamburger bun, or something like that. And I actually felt pretty good with that diet. There's one diet that I do kind of find a little bit interesting, and I kind of find it as and it's not a proven science, but this guy sells the books, a lot of these books about it, and that's a blood diet. So basically, based off of what type of blood type you are, that's the diet that you need to go with because people with a certain blood type and the certain proteins that are in that blood type can, um, I guess, metabolize certain foods easier than other blood types. So, say me being a O negative, interesting enough, it says that I should have a lot more omega 3 in my diet, lean proteins in my diet, and um, little to no carbs in my diet. And when I was on a pescatarian diet, which covers a lot of that, I felt a lot better. So I don't know if there is any truth to it or not.
Well, that is the weirdest shit I've ever heard.
Right?
I don't know about all that, man, but I mean, maybe. Who knows? Like, new science is coming out all the time, so.
But that I just think it's so funny that some of these you see some of these people and they're crazy about their diets, right? They'll like the- what was the one with the points? A number diet or what was it?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they go by a point system. God, I feel so stupid
And
right now. I can't think of it, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
then you have all these products that bought into it and they'll put on their labels on their
Oh,
product the pointage of it so that way they can get
oh,
people
yeah, it's
to
great.
buy their products. So I think like
Genius.
does
So
it
genius.
Oreos it does it. Like if you see there's some of them. Some of their Oreo packages has the numbers for that. I can't remember what the name of that diet was, but it was so funny. And I knew people that were on it, and they were like literally with a calculator on them all the time, and worrying
Yeah.
about how many points they've reached. And then
Yeah, it's silly. That's the silliest. Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe there's some good, I mean,
I think
science behind it, but
I think if you just have an active and healthy lifestyle, that should be enough. I mean,
Jenny Craig, is that
oh
it?
no, that but was it Jenny Craig that does? I think Jenny Craig
I
does.
just got a text saying it was Jenny Craig.
I don't even know how that came about. What was the name of the actress that was all the time on that rate on those commercials?
Kirstie Alley.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
I really never saw her lose any weight though. Like,
She did. She really did. Because there for a while she was really big. She's like Oprah, and like her weight just goes up and down. So she got pretty big, and then she lost a good amount, and then I think yeah, it kind of went back and forth. But that's probably why she doesn't do them anymore.
right. So
Yeah.
I actually have a friend that I've been trying to convince him to come on the show. I really would love for him to talk about this. But he's a bodybuilder, and he has a lot of his sponsors are a lot of these
Weight
different
Watchers.
Weight Watchers. That's what it was.
Thank you, Katie. Yeah. I got a text from Katie. She said it's Weight Watchers.
Nice.
Oh,
So that's awesome. Hey, by the way, I did not do this in the beginning of the show, and I totally forgot. You can actually call into the show. You can also go on our Facebook page and leave a comment. Twitter us. If you want to participate in the show, feel free. The number is 619-816-2309. You can call in the show and chime in. But yeah, Weight Watchers. Wow, that was so 90s too. I remember in the 90s,
yeah, Kirsty. Oh, we loved her in the 90s.
right? Um, Let me see. So definitely, I don't know. I find it funny when people like over do it with their diets. It's funny. I
Sad
never
is what
had a
it is.
problem with weight though, so I don't know.
I've been there. Oh, buddy. I've been there.
But all you do is be active, right? And just eat healthy. I mean, that's all you needed. I
Yeah, well,
mean,
you need both of them. People commonly, I tell people like, oh, I'm on a diet, I'm trying to eat healthy. They're like, oh, that's stupid. Don't do that. Just work out. It's like, do you know how much I'd have to work out to like make up for all this like burgers and donuts and shit you guys eat? I'm a 5 foot tall. I'm a female. I can't do that. I just don't have the genes for that. I have to eat healthy.
well, I know for like women particularly, like their um, their metabolism is not as, I guess, high as males, so it is a little bit more difficult. But that's mainly that's it's a biology thing, where women are supposed to hold more weight
Yeah,
though,
when you're squishies.
that and for baby making, like you need
Exactly.
that, nutrition in there and that fat to make the baby nice and fat. So,
And who wants to be comforted by a bony person, Like,
right?
nobody wants a mom with no bosom. The bosom is the most comforting place.
No, it still is sometimes.
I bet it is.
All right.
Sometimes I try to comfort myself. I'm alone.
Yeah, we've had those. I've had those issues sometimes. So I don't know. For me, I've never had a problem with my diet, and I don't eat healthy, but I don't eat unhealthy. If somebody brings a box of donuts to work, I'm probably going to have two or three donuts. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
I would eat
And
like 8 of them if I didn't feel so bad afterwards. I have to go throw up.
Oh, that was a big thing in the 90s too. Remember all those people that were bulimic?
I
Oh,
think it's still a big thing. I don't think that ever went away. I think,
I don't see it as much. I don't think. Maybe I'm just
well,
oblivious or just
I think
accustomed.
you probably are because bulimia is one of the most common ones because, I mean, anorexia is more obvious because they just get skin and bones, they don't have any muscle on them or whatever. But bulimia, a lot of times, like to keep up appearances or whatever, they have to finish their whole meal, sit around, talk for a minute, then excuse themselves, go to the bathroom, puke. By that point, you've already absorbed some of the nutrients and stuff, so you can maintain a like a normal weight while being bulimic. Now, it gets to a point where you start having all kinds of other problems that do become obvious. Teeth, for example, it starts to,
They
yeah, it
start.
starts to really,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, it's still pretty common because, I mean, that body image thing, it's bad. We have a bad problem with it. People do
Oh
some
yeah.
extreme shit to lose weight.
You know what? And it comes to again, and I know I piss off some of the viewers about this all the time, and I'll get crap later about it, but it comes back to parenting. I mean, in my opinion, I tell my daughter every day that she's beautiful, and um, I probably, being and I'm not saying that most parents don't do this, but there are some parents that don't sit down and explain to them, hey, this is kind of the deal. You need to be healthy. You need to eat healthy. You need to be active and know what you eat. But don't worry about that more than worrying about your figure. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
it's just a kind of changing of a what's that? A paradigm change. I think
yeah,
if people just would think, and teach their kids even, that the focus is not trying to look good. The focus is trying to just be healthy. If
for
you eat,
sure.
you work out, you're active, then you're less susceptible to, diseases and getting sick, and because your body is like, can fend itself better.
Oh,
Um,
and even things like depression. Depression. Oh, exercise and being healthy, so good for your mental state as far as depression, anxiety, all kinds of stuff like that too. But there's only so much you can control from home at that. Like, look, it's everywhere. Like the Victoria's Secret commercials and marketing on billboards
well,
and stores. It's
uh,
terrible.
before the show, I was actually at out and I passed by these kids that were going to prom. They were all taking pictures and stuff and like getting ready for prom. And it dawned to me at that point, you know how like obsessed some of these girls get? Well, I mean, you would know. I don't know if you went to prom or not.
Yeah, I know. I feel you.
To try to fit into this dress, like, because I'm not saying they only make dresses for certain figures, but they certainly do advertise
Oh yeah.
dresses.
They're never
And
gonna put a big person on the advertisement for their dresses. They're
exactly.
starting to. They're starting to.
Yeah, they're getting better at it, but I think it's a double-edged sword though with that. You're telling people, okay, well, it's okay to be, big, and now you're telling people that are not healthy, hey, it's okay to be unhealthy. So, you know, it,
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword. It can be, you know, I think the focus needs to just be healthy. So,
What's that phone number again? So let's
uh,
see if anybody wants to.
619-816-2309.
2309. Okay. So
All
anybody who wants to chime in, feel free, because I got plenty I could say, but this
right.
is like such a rich topic right here. I
I know.
mean,
I didn't realize it was going to be that rich.
yeah, well, I mean, we haven't even got into like the extreme weight loss measures that people go to, tapeworms and stuff that we had talked about
We were
before.
about that actually, yeah.
Yeah.
like who would want to put something like that in their body? Like it
Yeah,
can.
people intentionally eat tapeworms. It's so disgusting. Oh, yeah. I mean, the little tapeworm just like sets up shop in your intestines, and it's like every time you eat, he's like, "Yay, free food!" And he just eats all your food for you. And they can get up to like 15 feet long, I think. And eventually, I mean, sometimes you can get infections and stuff like that, or it can
Right.
get really serious. You can have surgery to remove them. Sometimes they'll come out on their own, but it's extremely dangerous, but effective, just like anorexia and bulimia, as
Yeah.
well as what was
It.
it you were talking about? Fecal transplants?
Oh yeah. What? Wait. What?
Yeah.
What? How did that work again? You were explaining it to me, I think, right?
Well, I don't know a ton about it, but I know that it actually has medical purposes as far as there's a certain I think it's like
Oh,
an
yeah, yeah,
infection.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's like an infection that they actually treat using other people's shit
Yeah.
to put it into your intestine so that those bacteria can fight off the infection and stuff. But they also get this shit, dude. Okay, there's a pill that you can take with freeze-dried shit in it for this as
What?
like a medical remedy. Yeah, it's disgusting. Like you literally eat shit. Someone else's, not even your own shit, you know? Like that would be gross enough, but somebody else's.
And that like loses weight for you?
Well, I don't know if it helps people lose weight. I think that might be a myth because I have heard that. I like the most common use though is for this one weird infection that I can't pronounce. But
Oh man.
yeah,
I think it
yeah,
has
it's
something on
disgusting.
that ice or something, but
Yeah, it's just like the coffee
oh
enemas. I know people use those to lose weight.
gosh.
That's just silly. I mean, if you take everything out of your intestines, out of your colon, of course you're gonna weigh less. Your
But then
body's still digesting it,
that's
but
um so we you actually showed me this video and I thought it was definitely worth playing on the show. Um, and we talked about all last month about autism awareness, because it was Autism Awareness Month.
mhm,
Those that are loyal viewers, they know that my son has slight autism. He's on the very high functioning side, so um, unless you like really talk to him, you wouldn't even able to tell. And luckily, he's in a really good school that really helped him out quite a bit. So, but this is interesting to me, and it just goes to show you how like I don't know if closed-minded is the right word, um,
well, yeah, I think that probably is a right word.
or ignorant of how people view people with autism. But anyways, at this middle school, they weren't going to allow this child with autism to walk with his peers to get his graduation diploma, and that's totally disgusting. Like it's just I couldn't believe it, and like I'm so proud of this mom. I respect her so much for fighting to get her son um, to walk with his peers and get his diploma. I think that's awesome. It just goes to show you, like, how loving parents can be with their kids, no
Yeah,
matter
of course.
unconditional love is
Never
amazing.
give up.
But let's watch this video and like I want to watch it again anyways too because I want to hear about what she said in the beginning because I can't remember if she. Well, we'll just watch the video. I can play it. Maybe not. Mm.
You put him in this line for graduation. He is an autistic child, and you don't do this to him.
This is total.
They called me and told me he wasn't allowed to come to school for the field trip. Now you're keeping me from graduating.
Please go back here, please. Please.
Kids are trying to
This is crap. So is he. So is
Tell him to
listen.
get to the end of the line and he can do this. Okay,
Thank you.
just go to the end of the line.
Thank you. Weston has just as many rights as this kids do. Weston has just as many rights to be here as you guys do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. 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 Thank you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Okay, so I don't know if I think the audio was kind of bad, but in the beginning, did she said that they told her that not to bring him to school because of a field trip?
Something, yeah, I was a little confused about that too. Like maybe they tried to tell her, like trick her into not bringing him. I'm not sure, but we kind of missed a little part of that conversation. But I think it's just crazy that, a student that has done his work wouldn't be allowed to graduate. That's crazy. Or get a certificate in front of the whole, school, like just like everybody else.
I mean, to me, it's just like, we live in a society where like image is everything. Like if you look at my son, you would never be able to tell that he has autism. Like he looks like a normal child, but you do have kids with autism, and you can definitely tell. But the part that gets missed out is how really, as far as intelligence-wise, and as far as
Oh,
effective and productive, person of society they can be, and they have, like you said, if they put in the work, they have the same amount of, rights to respect and to dignity as any other person. And even if they weren't, I mean, even a kid with like very low functioning or a person with very low functioning autism deserves, just your, your basic human rights to be treated like
respect, just like any other kid. And you watch the video of Channing Tatum's interview.
Yes, with
The girl with autism, right? She was extremely intelligent and witty, but she was nonverbal. And I think it's really like eye-opening because she was so intelligent, but you couldn't tell if she didn't have this technology to, make her inner voice heard. Just as smart as anybody else. It's just crazy. It's just very severe autism.
right.
This is a very interesting type of thing, I think, because I think people really think that they're low functioning, as in like intelligence, just because they have a bad autism.
Exactly, and that's what we were trying to bring awareness to all last month, is that, so the way it works, it's a spectrum, it's an autism spectrum, and you have from low functioning to high functioning, and all that means, and again, like you said, people think, oh, low functioning, that means that they're less intelligent, or they, and it normally gets confused also with kids with Down syndrome, which, even with kids with Down syndrome, it does have nothing to do with their intelligence. It's just when they mean by low functioning, high functioning is just the way they're able to interact in a social manner.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, like, for example, the girl that was interviewing Tim Channing, yeah, that's who it was, right?
Channing Tatum.
Okay, yeah.
Channing all over you, Tatum.
When, you know, she's low functioning because she cannot interact with society or in society as at a function that, you know, somebody without autism could. So my son being high functioning, he's able to talk and able to, like, relay what he wants, relay what he needs, relay what he feels to people with ease. So that's a high function. Low function, it takes a little bit more time, it takes a little bit more effort. But again, as far as intelligence-wise, some, you know, it's just a way of processing things. It gets processed differently. But that video, like, it made me mad for that school. And do you know where that school was again?
I think it said in the comments the mother put it there, but at least they did eventually let him talk. But it's crazy that she legitimately told her to have him, you know, walk the stage. It's not that he was dangerous. Autism. So
That's the other thing. People, I hear that a lot too. It's like, oh, they can be dangerous. Because there was a kid that was, I think it was in American Airlines, or it was either American Airlines or, I don't want to say it was Southwest. I think it was one of the bigger ones. It was American Airlines. They kicked the girl out of a airplane because she had autism along with Tourette's, which is sometimes common in autism, that you could have autism and Tourette's.
yeah.
And they landed the plane. They made an emergency landing because the pilot felt endangered because of her Tourette's.
Wow.
Like, really? That's insane. Like, the girl's not going to do anything. The girl's at her seat. She's not going to go to the cabin and make you nervous. You know?
I mean, I guess since the whole 9/11 and all these other like plane attacks and stuff, people were just nervous, and it may not have even been so much him as the passengers. The other passengers probably were getting nervous, being crazy, and which is still not okay. You know, ignorance is not an excuse, but
I was about to say that ignorance and being ignorant and intolerant is not,
yeah.
you know, and it's funny because a lot of people don't understand, like, when you have a kid with autism, your perspective changes so much. You know, my son, you know, he's high functioning. He's really good now. Like, he's way better than what we started off with because of all the therapy and a lot of help from the school that he's in to get him to that point. But there will be times, so he has what used to be called, and it's part of the autism spectrum, it's Asperger's. So he has a hard time empathizing with people. So he didn't understand why, like, you know, he was still trying to discover, I guess, feelings, you know, and discover how to understand other people's feelings. And he didn't understand if, like, a kid did not want to play with him, that meant, hey, I just don't want to play with you right now. And he would, like, harass people to the point where it, like, really, you know, made them upset. And he didn't understand why.
Yeah.
And, you know, or he would have tantrums, which is pretty common with autism, because either you know, sometimes things just, kids with autism have to be on a very set schedule, and if you deviate from that schedule, it really doesn't go well for them. And they normally will throw a tantrum, and it's just because of the way they process things. But people get that confused with being dangerous, and it's like, you know, you just learn to be more tolerant, you know, with things. And I guess it's just one of those things where if you don't have that experience, you don't have a kid with autism, you would probably never understand, but it doesn't hurt to learn.
Well, I have children at all. I don't know anybody who's autistic, and I'm very like understanding. I feel like I don't really have a lot of patience for people who are intolerant of things that they don't understand.
Right. Yeah, me neither. I mean, I, I I sometimes struggle a lot with like people, even not only with this autism thing, just in general. With me and my faith, that's my church, that's my faith. I will follow it. But if you're a true Christian, and I don't mean to bring religion into this, I mean, it teaches you in the Bible that you're supposed to love your neighbor and, you know, and treat everybody with respect. And
People forget that part of the Bible all the time. I don't know where that went whenever they started getting mad at everybody for everything. But
and it's funny because I know sometimes, I'll be with people from church, and I try not to be intolerant with them either for having their opinion. They have the right to those opinions. But it can get frustrating sometimes hearing them talk about, things like, same-sex marriage, people, in same-sex relationships or with abortion. Like, I guess for me, I try to look at the big picture, and there's a lot more to it than what meets the eye.
of course, there always is. You can't. People need to practice empathy. You really have to imagine all the possible situations and scenarios that could be happening for this person, and empathize, not just sympathize like, oh, okay, but really feel what they're feeling. If you don't have that ability, you're not going to be, I don't know.
I know I have been, when I was younger, guilty of that too.
Of
There
course,
are some
yeah.
things, but exactly. And as I grow up and you get more experience, you do learn. But some people that are my age and older still are very intolerant, and it's frustrating. And I try to tolerate it as well, but definitely when I see things like this and like this video, it really pisses me off and it really makes me upset. And I worry about my son, because I've seen him be judged, and I remember this one time where we were at a restaurant. I think it was like a diner, IHOP or something, or a Denny's, and they didn't have. I think they were out of. It was something simple. I think they were out of like apple juice or something. And every time we go to Denny's, which we kind of made it somewhat of a schedule, he would have his apple juice and his pancakes, and or no, his apple juice and bacon. He hates pancakes. He loves bacon. And they didn't have apple juice, and he threw a tantrum because it was out of order. It wasn't in his routine. And people looked at us like we were these horrible parents. And like, there's nothing you can do other than to try to get him to understand, and it takes time.
Yeah.
And, people would just give us these looks and like, they told the waiter, hey, can you like kick them out or move them? And it's ridiculous, and it's embarrassing for the parents.
Well, yeah. I think for the child, I would say.
Yeah. But, well, let's go to happier news. How about that? We got some birthdays to celebrate, don't we?
Yeah.
So I had it written down, actually, and I feel bad. I was going to write it down on my whiteboard, and I totally did not.
Bad.
I know, right? Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. Never mind. So it is Biggie's birthday today.
Biggie!
And Mr. T.
Oh.
I know. So
He's probably like 80 by now.
uh,
How old is he?
I don't know. All I remember is I was a big fan of the A-Team. One of my favorite shows. So my dad, right, had that same band when I was growing up from the A-Team, like the same style band. It was the Ford, what was that, the Ford Traveler or something like that, I think it was called. Um, awesome. I remember, like, I would watch the show and I would want to run to that band and, like, play out the show and act like I was. I love Mr. T. I was Mr. T, and everybody else could be whatever they want.
He's so silly. God. Oh my goodness.
And then
Happy
they,
86th birthday, Mr. T.
right, and then they, rest in peace. He would be, I think he would be in his early 50s by now. So,
Yeah.
and then we have other people to celebrate as well. Christopher Columbus. He died. He died. Let's see, many years ago. But on May 20th, so that would have been that anniversary yesterday. And without him, we wouldn't be here. And
Yeah, well, good fuck you to him. What a douche. Thanks, but fuck you.
It was though, like, and I think it's so funny that we have Columbus Day and we celebrate somebody that was such, I mean, there wasn't really that many nice people back then, though. If you
That's
really think,
true. Nobody was nice to anybody.
everybody was really vicious back then.
Yeah, they were.
And then we have Martha Washington, who, her death anniversary is the 22nd, which will be tomorrow. And she has been a huge role in our history. Not only being the wife of the first president, but
The first lady.
the first lady. Exactly, and she kind of set that bar for all other first ladies. So, I wonder who will set the bar for the first man. Would that be?
Oh, the first gentleman.
Would it be a first? Yeah, I guess first lady, first gentleman.
First dude.
First dude.
That's what I'm gonna call him. First dude. It might end up being Bill Clinton.
I know, right? Scary thought, though.
Former president and first dude.
We'll probably hear, if she wins, we'll probably hear more incidents of
Oh yeah.
pot smoking and under the desk. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Who knows?
right. We'll see. Has there been a divorce yet in any, like, president and first lady?
Say again?
A divorce, like?
Oh, not that I know of. No.
No.
I think it's very rare. If they presidents have to have like certain family values, or they used to. Used to be necessary. You have to be married. You have to be a man. You have to be old until Kennedy happened. But they loved him for it. He started a trend. But I don't think. I think maybe that's one of the reasons why they didn't split up, because it would have looked bad on them.
Right.
Them both in their political ventures. It would have looked very bad. You got to have that support, because if you don't even have somebody wanting to be your husband or wife, like, why would we want you as president, you know? Nobody likes you.
Donald Trump, because he's on his, what, third wife, fourth wife?
I think she's the fourth
Yeah.
magic number for him.
That will be interesting if he becomes president.
I'm moving. I'm gone, homie. I'm out. You're not going to see me ever again. I'd rather live in Mexico, and that's not. I'd rather hang out with El Chapo every day than have Donald Trump as my fucking president. Hey, what up, El Chapo? I got you, homie.
Canada looks pretty appeasing to me, or even like, Caribbean, maybe. Or
Yeah, I'm down for that. Canada's a little too cold up there for me. But no, I'll stick with San Diego.
So, anyways, that's pretty much all we got for our show tonight. Sarah, thank you. This has been an amazing episode.
Yeah,
You're on permanently, so that's pretty exciting. We're going to have next episode. We're going to be announcing a little game that we're going to have, and sort of a contest for our viewers. And whoever wins will win a $50 Amazon gift card.
I want that. Give me one.
Unfortunately, we can't participate, but
What? Here.
stay tuned. It's going to be a fun game, and the winner will win the $50 gift card to Amazon, which you can buy so much with $50.
Lucky.
Right? Especially on Amazon. And a little bit forward on, but next episode, though, is not going to be live. So we'll announce it, but we won't do anything live. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure Sarah's going to want to enjoy a nice, chill Memorial Day weekend. I am planning to go travel, so, but further on, some new things that we're going to have with No Shites Given is one, we're going to have our new website, so noshitesgiven.com, where we will have ways for you to communicate with us, participate in games, contests, know what we're doing, and then also we will have, we're going to try to do some things outside of our studios as well. There's some fun events happening in San Diego. So for all of our San Diego viewers, hopefully you'll be out wherever we're going to be out at in these events, and we'll be there live as well. So a lot of fun things going on. A lot of good things happening with the show. We now have 105 subscribers. So thank you for your loyalty.
That was all me. I'm gonna say. I'll take credit. I'll take credit for that. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you helped. So especially with this just your first show, this went awesome. So thank you very much.
I've had a blast. I'm gonna go get me some sushi now.
Nice. I was thinking the exact same thing actually today.
Yeah?
I was like, I want sushi. Yeah.
Hey, anybody gonna be in PB? I'll be at Cato.
Nice.
The best.
So that's pretty much all we got. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, and subscribe to No Shites Given. And we will see you next Saturday. See you next time. Bye.